Ciao. We finna answer some questions. First question, what's going on?
No bad comments today.
What is going on, child?
Ugly self.
Oh my god.
Just nasty.
Oh
Need some help.
Ew. Let me go ahead and put these back on. Hide my identity. I want y'all to know that I did not intend to leave braids in my hair for a month. I was okay. See what happened was 2 weeks into it, I was like, you know what? I might as well push it for another week. And then another week rolled in, and I was like, I might as well just go another week.
This is crazy.
And so here I am, January 7th. I got these braids in on December 4th. Shout out to Rare Essence Hair Studios and Elisa. Hey, Elisa. Elisa did my hair. And she did a really good job, and the braids held up for so long that I just kept pushing it. But there was a point where my hair started itching. But you know what? I left it in. Child, now it's time to take them out. It's frizzy and it's dry now, and although this has been so easy to just throw a hat on, I just want my curls back.
Thank you.
While I take my hair down today, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. Now, I went up on YouTube and I asked you all to ask me some questions for this Q&A, and I got about 300 questions.
Something wrong here.
Okie dokie. So the first question is from Jane Doe.
Who?
Hi, Jane Doe. How have you learned to be comfortable being alone and doing fun things by yourself, like when you went to the Grand Canyon? Interesting question. I keep talking about this trip that I took to Spain. Give it up. Give it up. You went 4 years ago. But really, it just took me like just going. So back in college, senior year, I told myself I had never been out of the country. Might as well just go. You have a month for winter break. Just go. And so I purchased a ticket and I flew to Spain. I figured that if I bought the ticket, everything else would just like fall into place. Hey guys, yeah, so this is me bored on the Eiffel Tower. It's like, catch me at the next place where I'm sure I'll be bored. You wait on people to like have fun and to like live your life. It doesn't feel good when you feel like you have to wait for your friends to want to come with you on a trip, or wait till you're like in a relationship, or wait for some family member to come with you. When you could just go by yourself. Just go.
We gotta go?
Really, that's how I learned, is by just buying a ticket and then forcing myself to go, because it was like my ticket was non-refundable, sis. And after I did that trip, I realized that the world looks so different. Like, it looks so different on the other side of the world. In Spain right now, everything feels and looks so different from what my daily life is right here. And I think that just like bred a lot of curiosity for me, and that coupled with the freedom that I now felt made me want to travel like everywhere. And so while it wasn't like feasible for me, like some broke college student, to travel to Thailand and then to China and then to all these places, I was like, hey, I can travel within America and it's like so much cheaper and it's still kind of cool. You know what I mean? A lot of people like poop on America for traveling, but there's a lot of cool things here, which is why I went to the Grand Canyon, because that's like an insane thing. I still can't believe I went there. I still can't believe the things that I saw. Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. It's like here in America, and you can like take advantage of that. So I think that trip to Spain was really how I was like forced to learn how to be alone, because I was really alone for a lot of that trip. B Weeks says, so like, how do we become friends? Do you have your own ends? Oh, do you trim your own ends? How frequently? Any specific methods? How do we become friends? How do really anybody become friends? I really don't know. Do you trim your own ends? Girl, I wish I was good enough to trim my own ends. I used to, but I very quickly realized that I'm just not good enough. I don't have the professional training to be like snipping my own hair. No, I actually just got a haircut. I just got a trim. It wasn't necessarily a haircut. I'd rather just like pay somebody to do it for me and know that it's going to be done right. Otherwise, my hair looks like a staircase. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Split into like fake friends, cut them off. Link down below. Pernice Whittington says, how's life been for you since you've moved to Arizona? Have you seen any weird things yet? Life has been pretty chill. If you haven't been to Arizona, or if you live on the East Coast and you've never been to the West Coast, you'll like be so taken aback. On the East Coast, you're just used to like having tall buildings around you, or like trees, things obstructing your view of like the next block over. But here it's like you can look out your window and you can see like far away, you can see like mountains, palm trees, a cactus. There's so many outdoorsy things to do. I go hiking just about every single day. I'm going camping this weekend. I took that trip to Grand Canyon. Overall, it's just been like better. and cheaper. Ashley Spring says, is YouTube your full-time job? If not, what do you do and how did you get into it? People, y'all always ask me this exact same question.
She is touring. She is making her money. Her credit is good. Her house is paid for. What are you trying to do with your life besides sit here talking about some woman who is grown, who you should be respecting, who's a legend in our community?
I do a lot of back-end work, so whenever I'm not posting on YouTube, I'm typically working with some company on the back end. So maybe they have projects that they're about to launch, or maybe they're like pitching their products to a corporation like a Sephora or a Target or something like that. They need help with that, so I'll do consulting for that. That's what I was doing professionally before I started YouTube, was like marketing and social media strategy. But now I'm just doing YouTube because this is fun. I like this. This is fun. I get to just sit and talk to y'all. That's chill.
I like that.
But for what? Says, for the teenagers thinking about college, what do you suggest we do or think about when applying? Personally, want to go to Howard and HBCU. Congratulations to you that you're like thinking about college. And also Howard, go Howard.
What?
Ew, y'all can tell I did not go to an HBCU. I went to Brown University. It was very much the opposite of an HBCU. It was a PWI, a predominantly white institution. But what I would think about, which is, I'm so blessed. I'm like in a very peculiar situation. I like worked my butt off from 7th grade all the way up to senior year for scholarship. And so I left college with about $500,000 in scholarships, plus a few full rides to a few colleges. But that's a very peculiar situation. And it kind of sucks that it's the Hunger Games out here for funds. Like, they really make little kids compete for money to go to school. Huh?
That doesn't make no sense.
But I did compete, girl. I got enough money to go to college and I didn't have to pay for it. And I'm saying all this because I think one of the biggest things, especially now, to think about, really just like in a practical way, is money. Like, if you can't afford it, maybe don't go there. It's unfortunate that it's a classist system where it's like, if you want to go to a better school, you have to have more money for that. Or you have to go into more debt for that, which is still classist. It's like knowing the struggle that my friends are in, insurmountable amounts of debt. I would say think about money in a practical sense and then balance that out with where you truly want to go. You know what I mean? What's really going to help you get to the stage that you want to get to, or the place that you want to get to, the career, the job, whatever. Anaya Sharif says, how did you get through your heartbreak? If that's not too touchy. This is not too touchy. I got through my heartbreak with time, but with a lot of work. A lot of people say like time heals all wounds, but girl, time was not doing nothing. Time was standing in the corner like,
I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
It was really the work that I had to consciously engage in that pulled me out of like heartbreak. But before that work started, I had to like give myself grace. I had to like not be hard on myself. Let kind of some of the storm pass. It did not feel good. It was the worst. It was like I couldn't stop crying.
Look, she's crying. Do you hear her crying?
Like when people like talk about it, they use the storm terminology and rhetoric. It was like a storm, sis. Your emotions are like up and down and you can't control it. And that's like upsetting that you can't even control like when you cry or when you're feeling fine. But once I sort of like sat in that and I was just like, listen, this is just what it is. Let's stop fighting it. I was able to start doing work, meaning I started journaling. Everything that I wanted to say to certain people, everything I wanted to say to myself. I wrote down all of the most honest things about my situation. I just wrote it down. And when girl, there was a point where I couldn't even see what I was writing. Yeah, because the tears was falling down my eyes and I was like, I can't see no more. I started doing video journaling. I have like hours and hours of footage of me just like talking to my phone camera. Your brain clears up a lot. And then I hit that moment where I was like, oh. Oh, okay. And I fully saw myself with honesty and I was like, oh, maybe I'm not that great of a person. Maybe I'm not like exactly who I thought I was. You know what I mean? My actions may have not lined up with my words. And from there on out, it was just like continual work. I stopped crying and I'm like, good, which is so wild because there was a point where I truly didn't think I was going to make it out of that storm. I was like, this is going to last forever. How do people get out of this? People don't talk about this part. If you can spend time with friends, people who really do love you and affirm you, and then if you can journal or like video diary and just like sit with it, then I think you'll be fine. Dominic Allen says, have you been keeping in touch with Natalie? Is she okay? Not is she okay? Yes, Natalie is fine. We FaceTimed not too long ago and yeah, she's living good. She's a full-time therapist now. Ishmael Williams says, would you recommend someone to start a YouTube channel? Why or why not? It's a good Question, I would say absolutely yes.
Yes.
I would beg everyone and their mama to start a YouTube channel. Not because you want to get famous. And I think that's where this question usually comes from. It's like, will I be successful still? Child, yes, baby girl, turn on that camera, press play. There's so many different people out there, so many different personalities, so many topics to cover. It's called YouTube. You make it what you want to make it. Have fun. Majesty Rael says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, I don't know, sis. 5 years, I'm going to be about 32. I do see myself like owning a home.
Her house is paid for.
And a business.
She is making her money.
And that's pretty much all I'll say about that. Taylor Bell says, when you were in college, did you ever think about dropping out or taking a break? I'm in my second year and I don't know if it's the pandemic or something, but I'm just not feeling it. Taylor, girl, you and everybody else, that's not to make your nexus of emotions smaller, but yes, I did feel like dropping out at a few points. Sophomore year is the year that people really are challenged. We call it the sophomore year slump back at Brown. It is what it is. Like, you always feel like you want to drop out or take a break because college is not normal. It's not something that humans are just like built to do.
I just don't think this is like great for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it. But don't you think any job interview...
It takes up a lot of your time. It's a newfound freedom, but also you really have to dedicate yourself to it. It gets harder in your second year. Your first year is like all the basic courses, and then the second year is really like you're starting to hone in on really what you want to do, and the education gets more granular and a bit more tough. And then you also have to start thinking about jobs and all these things. It's like so much at once. I thought about taking a break so many times, especially I got sick for like 2 weeks. I got some really wild like virus or something, and I was like, my throat was hurting so bad and I was sick and I had the flu, and for that 2 weeks I had to stay inside. I couldn't turn on my computer, I couldn't do anything, and I was just stuck to the bed. And then I was like finally fine and I was ready to like go back to class, and I realized I was so far behind and just missing 2 weeks that I wanted to drop out. I was like, there's no way I can get through all of this work, and this is very depressing. And I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. Even the school counselors, I went to them and they were just like, they gave me like very vague, very empty responses. And it was just like, well, if you need anybody to talk to, you know, you can come talk to me. And the issue wasn't coming to really talk to anybody. It was the fact that this school gives me so much work that I can't get sick.
Something about this doesn't sit right in my spirit.
And it just sucked that we were all paying so much money to go stress ourselves out like this. Yes. I have felt that way. You're not alone. But like most things, that feeling will pass and you will just get through it. Everybody tries to look like they have it together in college, but they don't. So talk to your friends, be vulnerable, and create a support group. Would you try the maximum hydration method? It can be done in 1 day, still a lot of steps though. I watched a video on it and the first person I thought about was you. Oh, thank you. Wait, why? Is it because my hair is dry? Oh my God, Will's hair is so dry. He should try this. I probably won't try it. I don't feel like it is. It just sounds like it's too much. Devin Rain says, how has being in the house all the time affected your day-to-day and with content? Everybody's life changed with the pandemic, but mine stayed the same. I've been working from home, sis. I've been staying in the house all day. I have had more time to just like have fun, because I think people were looking for just like fun content. So now I think my content has a little bit more range. Jambalaya J says, what's your best mental health practices?
Let me tell you something.
Looking back while I twerk in the mirror. Domestic V1190XXOO says, why is your editing so on point? Love your content. It's because I have a pack of elves in here that I hired to edit my content. Daydreaming says, was it easy or hard to start swapping some food ingredients for the vegan alternative? I'm not vegan.
Veganism.
S_ says, how's your mom doing? Hope she's doing well. My mom is doing fine. She just turned 52. 53? She's 53 now. And she sounds real chipper on the phone at least. Elise Marcel says, what's your next adventure? How has YouTube impacted your real life relationships? My next adventure? I really want to see the Aurora Borealis. That's like really what I want to do. So I could go to Iceland, Alaska, anywhere like very north. And as for my relationships, YouTube definitely affects my like love life. I always have to have a conversation with people about my like YouTube channel and like what I do, and it's always like some serious thing, but it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't obstruct much of anything. Vanessa says, Vanessa, that's my mom's name. Thank you for being a light. You shine brighter than you realize. When you stay in the lightness for so long, you don't realize how bright you actually are until you illuminate an area where there is darkness. Baby girl, come on, you better come on.
Hallelujah.
Ethan Conrad, he says, seeing that you go on these fun little adventures, have you ever thought about coming to South Africa? Literally the best place to sightsee. Fun fact, I really do want to go to South Africa. I was actually going to go to South Africa. No, I wasn't.
And lying.
Child, there was a boot camp for...
What?
Boot camp? No, it was like a coding boot camp. So you go to South Africa for like 3 months and they teach you how to code very intensely. And I went to like what is it called? A little seminar on that program because I was truly about to just, after college, go to South Africa and just learn how to code and then work at Google for the rest of my life. But really, I only went to that presentation because they had free pizza.
Why are we about to eat it?
But at least I saw a bunch of like pictures and video of South Africa. It's very beautiful. I would love to come. You paying for the flight? Joshua Germain says, honest opinion, what is it really like living in Phoenix? Give us the tea. Phoenix and Ferb, child. Really nice. There's lots of dope people here. Oddly enough, there's lots of black people here. I did not expect that, but there are a lot of black people here. Cannot wait till we're all vaccinated so we can have fun again. I met a bunch of cool people when I first moved here, and then it was like the pandemic happened, and then other than that, there's lots of stuff to do. Like, and Tempe is right around the corner where ASU is, and it's like a very college town, so there's tons of stuff there. Sheehan Barnes says, have you thought of having a Zoom hair class where you can teach people on their hair? That's interesting. I could do that. Anything with Adrian says, what's your favorite song or album? It's probably one of like John Legend's earlier albums. The one that has either Save Room for My Love on it or Everybody Knows. It's like one of those very early albums. I don't know if it's like my favorite, but that's what I'm thinking of right now. Everybody knows that nobody really knows how to make it work. I guess we'll give it one more try. That's my song, y'all. Till says, who are your favorite content creators on YouTube and why? Oh my God. So wait, who was I watching recently? I really like Sarah Baska. Like, Sarah is really funny to me. I think she just gets it. She's just like doing her thing. She just seems very comfortable in who she is on YouTube, and I love that. I also like Nella Rose. I just got into Nella. Nella's real funny. Who else? I feel like there's so many people that I always forget. Afua Vibe says, would you ever want a Netflix show or a talk show, reality, something of that nature? Absolutely. I think that would be actually so much fun. I have so many ideas for comedy shorts. A Black Lady sketch show is like my dream. A Black Lady sketch show, if you have not seen it, by Robin Thede. It is just like SNL, but it's all black women. And I think it's like maybe produced by Issa Rae as well. But it is so funny to me. It's like exactly what I want. Oh my God. Miss Sadie123 says, what has been your biggest life lesson you have learned this past year or in a previous year? Lean in. Like, lean into a lot of things. Like, stop being so afraid and like thinking that there are like these fences up between you and things that you really want to do. Just do it. You know what I mean? Like, when I went to the Grand Canyon, I just kind of leaned into it. I was just like, let's just go. Grand Canyon is like but 3 hours away from me. And I'm just like sitting here when I could just go. Stop thinking about it, lean into it. Just do it. Alicia Jennings says, I've been natural for almost 6 years, and I feel like my hair did better when I was getting relaxers. I taught myself how to braid so I could keep up with my hair in braids and wouldn't have to do it all the time. But what's the point of being natural if I only wear braids? And when I have my hair straightened, which is not too often, it poofs up within a day or two. Advice, please and thank you. There's lots of reasons why people go natural. One could be like an emotional thing, it could be a mental thing. But if it comes down for you to the amount of work that you have to put in, start trying to figure out other styles. Ponytails, hire somebody to do your hair if that's like in your budget. There's sometimes when you're like looking, you walk by that Just For Me, baby girl, and you're like, me and you one day, we're going to reunite. But if that's truly what you want to do, then do it. Like, you can relax your hair. You can always do that. Just try to remember the headspace that you were in when you went natural. If you go back to being relaxed and then you're like, oh, I forgot, this actually is kind of terrible, I hate getting my hair relaxed, then you might just want to like stick around being natural. You know what I mean? You don't want to regret going back because that's irreversible. C-Flex Run says, when you drop in a music video for the tracks you was playing a few months ago, if there are any music producers who won't charge me $10,000 for an hour of your time, please hit me up because I would love to produce the rap that I came up with 4 months ago. Next question. Nanny June says, if you were Will 10 years ago looking at your life today, would you say that you are at a place mentally, physically, financially that you want to be? 10 years ago? Probably not. I don't know if I was like thinking about my mental health as much as I am now 10 years ago when I was like 16 years old. I don't think that was like a thing. I wasn't really, financially, probably not. I thought I was going to be like a full-time doctor by now. And so I don't got doctor money.
I do got money, but I just got 73.
$73?
Yeah.
Physically, I don't know. I didn't think about that either when I was like 16. I was not concerned about these things. When I was 16, I was just concerned about getting into college. Rain Scope K, we'll just say K. Can you finally tell us a story about when you went to a Big Frida concert? Also, any more stories from Spain? There's more stories from Spain, and I did go to a Big Frida. I've seen Big Frida like 4 times. Twice at Essence Fest, and then also Big Frida came to our school like to do a concert at Brown. Big Frida was like calling people up to the stage to twerk. They were like telling the security guards like, hey, like we need like 4 people up here to come twerk. And I was like right at the front, and I was right near the security guard where the gate opened, kind of afraid to go up because I was like, I don't want to twerk in front of all my classmates, because there was like thousands of kids from Brown like in the audience. And Big Frida was like, come on the stage. I was kind of like half like being like, yeah, I want to go up there. And then Big Frida looked at me in the eyes, sis.
Girl down, you already know.
And they were like, security guards, let him up. And I was like, let who up, child? And I turned around. I was scared. I was too scared. I chickened out. I was like, this not me, child. And then I saw Big Frida again. I have a picture with them. I think it might be on my Facebook. If I can find it, I'll post it right now. And for the second part of this question, the stories from Spain, I have a lot, but they're kind of R-rated, not gonna lie. Girl, listen, I was young and I was in Spain for the first time. But I do have other stories. I can talk about like my hostel situations. I had a lot of like weird hostel situations that were like overall good, but like weird. When you decorate a room, do you find inspiration elsewhere, or do you already have something in mind? Like how do you put it? I love how you put a space together. That's interesting because I like feel like you don't really know how I put a space together yet. Have I shown y'all anything yet? I can't wait for, like, are you looking in my houses? What I do a lot is I go around and I just take pictures. I don't shop at all. I'll just literally window shop, and I'll go to every single furniture store. Pictures will reveal to me like what my style is, and that kind of helps me put together a room. Dancer Chick says, have you been coming up with things for the foster kids and the proceeds from your merch? Yes. This year, I think I talked about this, but this past year when the pandemic happened was supposed to be the launch of that whole project. And it was supposed to be in-person things, events, we'll say. I had to like pivot hard. And so on top of all of the other work that I had to do this year, I also had to sort of digitize all the stuff that I was going to do last year. It's still happening. Now I just need to hire more work and more people to like get it done. I need like a website. So if you know how to build websites, sis, like really nice websites, please hit me up. Email me at WillOnAWhim@gmail.com. I'll put the email in the description box. Starberry 101 says, shows you recommend to binge watch. I would say I just watched Bridgerton, but it's very much like, it's kind of just like reinforcing a lot of the whack traditional tropes out there. But it's like fun to watch if you want to watch it, and you can still, if you can like still be critical of all of it and watch it purely for enjoyment, then cool. But if you are impressionable and you can feel it sort of like constructing your ideas about race and class and gender, then you might need to leave it. If you feel like you got to put on a ball gown to get a man's attention, leave it. Oh, I just started watching Lovecraft Country, and that's really good. I am like literally on episode 2 because each of those episodes take 24 hours to watch. The Undoing was really good, and if you still haven't seen Big Little Lies, definitely watch that. Little Fires Everywhere, watch that. The Good Place, if you haven't seen that, watch that. Search Party. I feel like it's one of the most underrated comedy dramas out there. It's like, it has some of my favorite people in it. My favorite like white people are in that show. Succession is really good if you can like keep up with the technical jargon of just like moving parts of a corporation. Fleabag is really good, and also Watchmen, if you haven't seen Watchmen, with Regina King. Des Jackson says, okay, my question is, when are we fighting? Because we have beef. Listen, Des, you keep your distance, Des. Where are some places you would like to travel? I'm obsessed with your Grand Canyon series. Oh my God, I'm so happy that y'all are equally as obsessed with me traveling as I am with me traveling, because I really truly do love to travel. I feel like every time I go, I learn something new. I feel like I'm opening my world, baby girl, whole new world type tease. Where are we taking the magic carpet next? Most likely Canada, Alaska, or maybe somewhere, maybe we'll go to like Joshua Tree, since that's like not too far from me. These are like things that I feel like everybody has to like knock off their list before they get to the big stuff. I really want to go back to Europe. Oh my God. And then I do want to go to Mexico City, and I want to see the Great Wall of China, and I want to do Niagara Falls. There's just so many things I want to do. So I don't know. We'll just see. Whatever is cheapest and easiest to do and safest to do. Kay Trezia says, what advice would you give to your 25 plus audience struggling to figure out their goal in life? I watched the movie Soul last night, and it actually really is good. And it's like jolting. Like at the beginning, the first 30 minutes, it's like, but it really does force you to, well, it's a Disney movie, so they don't leave too much for you to figure out. They just kind of tell you what it is. It's about finding your purpose and all that stuff and feeling kind of lost a little bit. And they do it in a really like colorful way for kids to understand. So definitely watch Soul. It's real interesting. But I would say you have to be okay with where you are at. And you have to know that no job is too small. You have to not have an ego. We live in America.
I live in America.
Which is highly capitalistic, and it's like dog eat dog out here. And you have to realize that that in itself is like hard and it's violent. You have to like really mother yourself through it all. Give yourself grace. Take time, girl. If you have to like eat ramen noodles for a little bit, it's not healthy, but I had to do it. I had to eat ramen noodles for like 4 months straight to save money so I can like just break away. And I think that's one of the things that really helps. It's just changing your environment up. If you don't feel inspired, or if you don't feel like there is anything around you that's really going to get you anywhere, you sometimes gotta just move. I moved across the country, and that like really sparked my sort of life and my interest in things. So yeah, I would say actually, yeah, that's a big deal. Move. I found a little job at Planet Fitness, and I worked there overnight for like 3 months until I could find another job that would pay me a little bit more. Saved up, and I caught a plane, girl, and I moved. I was like, bye. And then from there on out, I just kind of like kept going, and I found what I wanted to do in life. But it's also okay to just enjoy life and to just like, you don't have to like constantly be thinking about your next move unless it's like heavily tied to what you're going to eat that night. You know what I mean? Take it day by day and be gracious with yourself. Carlos Sacramento says, have you ever loved somebody? If yes, was it transformative? Absolutely. I did love somebody, and I also love myself. It is equal parts selfish and selfless. And being aware of that dichotomy is like transformative. And that really creates this real vulnerable space where you just kind of are squeezing the most out of life, and it feels so good. Okay, we're gonna do rapid fire questions now because I do have somewhere to go and my footage is running out. My dude, how did you get so funny? Improv, talent, Maybelline? It was Maybelline. Are you still happy with doing YouTube? No. Will we get an update on the new flame you got going on over there, or did you decide to keep that private? Flame? Oh my God!
Blow it everything.
I hear you reference being an Aquarius a lot. Do you relate to the characteristics for that sign? Absolutely. Nia Gray says, hey Will, I'm about to start my last semester in college and I'll be graduating in May. Congratulations. Do you have any advice for people entering the workforce for the first time? If you have a job, do that job, sis, and save the money, girl. Kaya Man says, how do you maintain your mental and emotional health? Is there anything you like to do in specific for or nah? Journaling, video diarying, pizza, bubble bath, kiss on the cheek. Do you know your moon sign, what your moon sign is? I do not. What's the funniest thing that happened to you last year? In hindsight, almost falling 30,000 feet to my death on the side of a canyon. Favorite YouTuber? Me. Have you been on any more cool solo nature-focused trips around the state? Not really. I've gone hiking. How does the overall vibe of Arizona seem in comparison with your last state of residence? This one is much more zen. Much more chill. What is your favorite YouTube video you've made on your WillOnAWhim channel and on your WillOnAWhim More channel? WillOnAWhim, say that 5 times fast. WillOnAWhim, WillOnAWhim. Definitely my moving vlog finale. WillOnAWhim More, I would say my Target hauls. Anytime I do a haul from Target, I love those. Thoughts on what happened today? I'm getting my passport ready. Where'd you learn to edit? Your videos be so funny. I went to Hogwarts. Cairo Cheese says, do you have any academic and or lifestyle tips that helped you get through your first year in college? Drink lots of water, and do your homework immediately. Any New Year's resolutions that you probably won't even remember? Straighten that back. Did you grow up in South Carolina? Nope, I just went to high school there. Would you ever dye or bleach your hair? I'm not putting Clorox on my next question. Aloha from Texas, Will. Okay, I'm confused. What's the difference between your biggest dream and your life goal? About 10 pounds of cheese. Has your hair always been so long? Yes, since birth. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? Have you ever thought of getting locks? Yes, for both my hair and my bike. I'm scared. Who are you dating? Money. What's the one thing about being a creator on YouTube that you're still not used to? Getting recognized. I don't know. Where are you from? America.
I was born and raised here.
Do you speak any other languages? Sí, yo puedo hablar español. What's the best advice you've ever received? Just fart. Just fart. With YouTube as your main gig, do you still pay taxes? You think the Fed's gonna skip over me? How do you decide which GIF or meme to add to your videos? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Caught that talk about his toe. Why did you choose to get a dog? Love hot dogs. Would you ever create your own hair care brand? Y'all ask me this every single time. Yes, I would. You gonna help? Tips for living on your own. Walk around naked, pay bills, eat hot chip. What's a hairstyle you've always wanted but have never tried? Clown hair. How has the gluten-free journey been going? I'm free. I'm free at last. I'm no longer gluten-free. That green jacket you got from the thrift store, what brand is it? It's so cute. I think it's a Columbia. Hey girl, what are some of your favorite hair products? Here you go. Right there. Boom. What was your favorite album of 2020? Chloe and Halle, Ungodly Hour. It was just incredible. Immaculate. Why, when, and where, please?
I know a lot of things, but I don't know about that.
What are some tips you would give someone who wants to move out of the state on their own? Open up a bank account and buckle up. Would you ever move to a different state, or would you just move into a house? I do want to move into a house. This is the house I want to move into. What? I subscribe. So am I a homie or your friend? Absolutely. What are you doing for your birthday this year? I'm getting 2 wisdom teeth extracted from my skull. Listen, there's too many questions. It's too many. I cannot respond to 300 questions, girl. I finished taking out all of my braids, finally. Oh my God.
What the hey?
But this feels so good. What's interesting about my braids is that my scalp was like totally fine. It was like so flaky at one point, and then it just like got like, it was so flaky. Who is that? Did you see Goose? It was like so flaky at one point, and then it just like stopped getting flaky. So I think there is something about like leaving your hair alone for like months that like is good for your scalp. I don't know. Good for your scalp. It just isn't itchy, you know? But I did get my hair cut, y'all, before I got my braids. So I'm excited to see like where my hair falls now when I like do a wash and go and a twist out and like all that stuff. So buckle up, sis, because we finna do tutorials on tutorials on tutorials on tutorials on tutorials.
What was that?
Okay. But that brings us to the end of another episode of Will on a Whim. Thank you all for submitting all of the questions. There's literally probably 200 more questions that I have not answered. But thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a big old thumbs up. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you want to stick around and be my friend, be my homie. My dog is pushing the camera. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and my second YouTube channel, Will on a Whim More, where I will be posting another video this month. Hope to see you all back here real soon for another episode of Will on a Whim. But until then, bye.